The purpose of this video is to show you guys how to install the Pico-Engine. Installing the Pico-Engine is pretty simple. We're going to be following this Pico-Engine Quickstart documentation. There are some prerequisites. You need Node and NPM. I am currently using this version of Node. It should be the latest one. And this version of NPM, which I think is also the latest one. Of course, at the time of the video. So let's get started. It's pretty simple. We're actually going to be installing the Pico-Engine globally, and that's why you see this -G. It's a flag that tells npm to install the Pico-Engine globally. So let's paste that command to our terminal. Okay, now that it's finished downloading, all we have to do is run the pico-engine command. So let's do that. Pico-engine. Now our Pico-Engine is running. And our Pico-Engine should be running on port 3000. So let's navigate to port 3000. And here we have our Pico-Engine. Now, along with showing you guys how to install the Pico-Engine, I thought I would also show you guys how to start coding on the Pico-Engine. When it comes to developing on the Pico-Engine, it can be a little confusing because it's not clear where to start exactly. So I'm going to show you guys where you can start writing your rule sets and how you can install them in your Pico-Engine. So I am actually just going to make a folder on my desktop just to hold my rule sets, just for simplicity. You guys can put your rule sets anywhere. So if I go to my desktop, say I make a directory, let's call it rule sets. I'm going to cd into rule sets, and I'm actually going to open the rule sets in Visual Studio Code. Now, what I'm going to show you guys is how you can write your Caro rule sets, parse them, and have them ready to be installed in Pico-Engine through Visual Studio Code. This is one way you can start writing Caro rule sets, but it's not the only way, and I thought I would just show you guys one way to do it. This is my preferred way. It may not be for everyone, but those who like Visual Studio Code, might prefer this as well. So there's an extension that you can download from the store. Let's look it up. It's actually called krl-vs-code. It's a quick installation. All I did was click install. And one quick note is that this extension was originally made for the old Pico-Engine. We are currently in the new Pico-Engine, and some of the functionality that's here is lost. But you can still parse your rule sets, which is still extremely helpful. So let's make a file here in our rule sets folder, and let's call it hello_world.krl. And you can see immediately once I have the extension installed, Visual Studio knew that I'm trying to write a Caro file. You can see right here it says Caro as a selected language, and it's already saying that there's errors, right? This isn't a valid Caro rule set. I'm actually going to get the hello_world rule set that's found in the getting started page and paste it in. And you can see that it sees that it's valid Caro. I'm going to save this. Now I want to install this rule set on my Pico. So what I have to do is go to my Pico-Engine, go to the Pico where I want to install this rule set, go to the Rule Sets tab, and here there's a form that I can fill out to install my rule set. You can see right here that it's asking for a URL of where my rule set's hosted. Now, especially when you're first writing your rule sets, you want to install it quickly in your Pico-Engine and get testing on it. So you don't need to go host your rule set immediately on GitHub or something like that. You can just host it locally to begin with, and you can install it easily by doing file:// and then the path to your rule set. So I'm going to run quick pwd command, get the path of my rule set, pasted it right here, and then specify that I want the hello_world.char file. And then I'm going to install it. You can see that the rule set's been installed. But now I want to test my rule set, right? There's an event I can raise and there's a function I can query. So if I go to the testing tab, I can find my rule set there, and I can find a way for me to query that hello function and raise this event. Now if I raise this echo :hello, you'll see that I get this error that this event is not allowed by the channel. There's another video where we describe and explain why we have channels and what they do, but for now I'm going to show you how you can get testing, how you can start testing your rule sets. So you're going to need to create a channel that allows you to raise and query these rules and functions. So if we go to the channels tab and we want to create a new channel, and let's just call this the hello_world channel. All right, I'll just put this tag on there, and I want to allow anything with the domain of echo. You notice that my rule has that domain echo, and it might have different types. So what I want to do is probably when I make another rule or something, I want to make sure that I keep that same domain, right? Keep that same pattern. So maybe if I was going to do another rule, right, I would say echo and then something else, right? So I want to make sure, right, that I allow any rules that have the domain echo followed by any type. And I also want to allow any functions to be queried in the hello_world rule set. So, right, this specifies the rule set and which functions, and I'm saying any. This specifies which domain of the event, and I say any domain, or any echo domain with any type. So sorry, let me rephrase that. Only echo domain with any type, followed by any type. Sorry about that. So, right, and I'll add this channel, and right now it's here. So when I go to the testing tab, I can switch to that channel, which allows me to make this query and raise this event. And you can see now that I can raise that event. Now let's say right, let's also query this function. We get hello Beto. But let's say I wanted to change that function to say hello the Beto or something like that. If I save it, go over here and test or query that function, you can see that I didn't get what I didn't get my change. Right, I wrote the, and it still looks like it's saying just hello Beto. So what you need to do is you need to go back to your rule sets tab, and you need to update your rule set by flushing it. Now it's got that new change. If I go to the testing tab, make that query again with Beto, I get hello the Beto. So make sure that every time you make a change that you go and flush your rule set. One more thing, once you are ready and have made all the changes you want to your rule set and want to host it somewhere like GitHub, it's really simple. All you need to do is provide the GitHub URL, and you'll actually update this URL, as long as you make sure that the rule set identifier stays the same. So when I go put this rule set on GitHub, I don't want to change this to say something like 2 and then get that URL and then install it, because then it will actually make a whole new rule set, right, called hello_world2. But as long as I keep this as hello_world and I host this on GitHub, when I install that new rule, or when I install a rule set using that hosted URL, it will actually replace this rule set using the new URL. It won't make a second one. It won't make like a hello world 2 or anything like that. And I can show you guys an example of that. So I actually have a hello_world Caro file hosted on GitHub. So if I put the URL here, my rule set that I have hosted on GitHub has the hello_world rule set identifier. So not that, but the one on GitHub, right? I didn't change that rule set identifier. It still says hello_world. So when I install this, it's gonna just replace the URL here. I hit install. You can see that the URL was updated. And this is great because, right, you can give this URL to people, you know, when you want to share your rule set or something. If you're making some application and that uses a Kara rule set, you can share the rule set that's hosted on GitHub, make any changes, update the one on GitHub, and tell everyone else to flush, and they get all your new changes. So I hope this was helpful in showing you guys, you know, the development process and with Picos. And yeah, that was the goal, was hopefully that you guys could get started developing.